This is my virtual library. So, beginning in this project, I kind of wanted to read some books that I read when I was younger but don't really remember much about them, or books that I wanted to read when I was younger but never got the chance to. So, I read some of those books and I really liked them, and it gave me a new opportunity to read these books from a different perspective. And after learning all about children's literature, seeing it from some new eyes, this project also gave me the opportunity to read some more, which I definitely need to do. So, going on to my favorites from what I read, 1984 was definitely one of my favorites. I read this in high school, but I couldn't remember anything about it now, so I reread it. And I feel like it is very relevant to our society today, and I feel like that kind of book would be perfect for a high school level class, learning about, dystopian societies. Another one of my favorites was Wonder. I read this in sixth grade, but I obviously don't remember anything about it now. So I reread it and then used it for my book trailer, and I fell in love with it. It was such a good book. It had multiple different perspectives from different characters, and I feel like this is an amazing book to use for kids to teach them how to, have empathy and kindness and not look at others differently just because of the way they look. And another one of my favorites was The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I also read this in high school, and I remember loving it at the time, but I couldn't really remember too much about it, so I wanted to reread it, and I fell in love with it all over again. It's an amazing book. I feel like it goes over some really complicated and complex themes like mental health and finding yourself in high school, and I feel like that's perfect for, the young adult section because of the kids that are going through those things. Some books I didn't like were Beezus and Ramona and The Babysitter's Club. I'm not too sure why these books just didn't stand out to me. I mean, they were kind of a slow read for me, but that just might be my opinion. And I think it's because they were written in the 50s that it just didn't really relate to me, I suppose. Some books that I would love to use in a future classroom are the I Survived books. This one is the 9/11 one, and this one's the Chicago fire. I really liked how historical they are. They're historically accurate, and I feel like this would be great for younger kids to learn about some certain history. Another book I would love to use in my future classroom is The Magic Tree House. It's such a fun fantasy book, but it also goes into history and historical things, and it's such a fun read. I feel like that would be perfect in my future classroom for history, but also just fun outside reading. And that was my virtual library. Thank you.